because it's January, we've got a very special January themed New Year's resolutions. And this is one of the New Year's resolutions that people usually follow for our temporally scripted top 5. Adam, what have we got this week on the top 5?
Well, this week it is top 5 fad diets that sound like they were invented in a pub. Because it is that time of year, and changing your diet is one of like the top things that people try to do in the new year. So I thought it might be nice to look at some interesting diets from, well, history, basically.
History.
History. No, you're history. So, the first one is called FLETCHERISM, which is also known as the choo-choo cult. And this started in the early 1900s by someone called Horace Fletcher. And so the idea was really simple. You don't need to change what you eat, but just chew everything a lot. So every bite turned into some kind of like lunch marathon. And that's how it got known as the choo-choo cult. So like one bite of food, someone would maybe chew it for like a minute, sometimes more. And yeah, so they said it was also kind of like almost like a spiritual health kind of thing. But at the same time, in modern times, it's a little bit like instead of using a big spoon, you can use like a little spoon to eat something and you'll feel full by eating less. And so it's like a similar idea in some ways. So it wasn't completely wacky, but yeah, you just had a lot of people chewing things for a very long time.
I think this must have got quite famous as well, because I remember my dad was like always, you should chew your food and make sure you chew it enough times and stuff. So I think there's like that this must have permeated into kind of not as extreme, but just in general, oh, you should chew your food and make sure you're enjoying it and stuff. I think there's part of that. I mean, I definitely have the jaw muscles still for, excess chewing, but it's for very different reasons, which we won't go into right now because we don't want to get banned. Anyway, moving on. So what have we got in at number 2?
Okay, well, number 2 is Lord Byron's vinegar diet. So it wasn't exactly a sort of set diet, but he had a cluster of weight control habits that people later called the vinegar diet, because a big one was one of the things he would eat was like potatoes, but just with like loads and loads of vinegar. Or it could be plain biscuits or soda water. But people at the time, I think, because he was basically like the first influencer in many ways, because he was so rich, so famous, charismatic. And so what he did, a lot of people copied. And so when someone asks, oh, how does your skin look so youthful? It's like, oh, well, just potatoes and vinegar. I don't know. You're like, all right, good idea. I'll try.
Yeah, maybe he meant on the skin. I mean, it does sound a bit like Russian food.
A little, yeah, with a hint of German food in there as well, maybe.
Yeah. So maybe not too far away from, some kind of reality. I mean, vinegar, I guess, is it the fermented aspect? Like, I know now I eat a lot of kimchi and kombucha here and there, and that's supposedly good for you. I mean, I just like it because it tastes good, and I think it's good for me. But yeah, maybe it's something in that.
Yeah, same with like apple cider vinegar as well.
It's
pretty good.
ACV, mother apple.
Byron did have quite a funny side to him as well, though. When he was at university, he was at Trinity College, and there was like a rule saying that you weren't allowed to have pet dogs. And so it's like, okay, interesting. Doesn't say anything about bears. So he acquired a bear and had that living at university with him.
Nice. That's smart.
Yeah. I mean, legend has it, I heard about it on QI years ago, but apparently he got in trouble with the authorities for having the bear. And so they came to him and said, like, there are rules about having domesticated animals in the university. He goes, I can assure you, it's not domesticated. It's like literally just a wild bear.
Nice, nice. I mean, that's fair. He's not breaking the rules. I can understand it. Yeah, yeah, very cool. What we got on number 3?
Well, the next one is definitely my favorite, the tapeworm diet, which is exactly what it says. So this came from like the Victorian era, but then it's resurfaced here and there over history. And it is exactly what it sounds like. You take a tapeworm and carry on eating as normal, and you just let the tapeworm do the work for you.
That's brilliant. Genius. I mean, it's multitasking. It's what's it called? Like almost combination planting, you know? It's like working together with something else. A bit like a whale with those tiny fish that eat the stuff that lives on them. That, you know, they follow them around like a whale shark. I'm wondering if this is also the inspiration for that System of a Down song where they talk about pulling a tapeworm out of your ass.
It could be. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it sounds like a really good idea, and it's like, oh well, I've got this tapeworm thing, I'll take care of it. But at the same time, it's like tapeworm infections can get really, really serious, cause incredibly dangerous health conditions. So I think people stopped doing it primarily for those reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you know, living out here, you are supposed to take a tablet for that once a year, just in case you don't.
Yeah, I've heard about this, and I still haven't.
Because you might need to one day pull one out of your ass. Anyway.
Yeah, apparently as well, when you have them, they'll kind of like have like baby tapeworms like inside you, and sometimes like these little short ones can start crawling out during the night and find them in bed and things like that.
Oh, nice. Tapeworms up inside you, finding an entrance where they can. Let's move on to number 4.
So number 4 was a cabbage soup diet. And this was in like the mid 20th century. So just like we used to get chain letters years ago, or you'd have chain emails, they said this basically spread by fax. And so the whole thing of it, as you can tell from the name, is just to eat loads and loads of low-calorie cabbage soup for a week. And it says you'll drop a dramatic amount of weight. It has other aliases like Sacred Heart or Miracle Soup, which if it's Miracle Soup, it means it must be genuine and real.
Sure.
But yeah, but then experts point out that the initial whoosh is largely water weight. And so you can't keep this diet up for long. But as you can imagine, if you ate nothing but cabbage soup for a week, you would lose weight. It's just cabbage, water, and salt, basically.
Yeah, I mean, is that not just the North Korean diet?
Probably, yeah, not far off.
Pretty much, right? Yeah, I'm trying to offend as many countries as possible in this last 10 minutes.
Yeah, North Korean, well, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, the North Korean diet. Okay, and then, so last but not least, wrap us up with number 5.
Okay, and this comes from the 2010s, and it was sometimes called the werewolf diet, also called the lunar diet. And
or the loony diet.
Possibly, yeah. But it's built around like lunar phases, based on the idea that the moon's gravitational pull affects your body. And so you time fasting around full moons and new moons. And I think it's similar to the sort of 24-hour fast, but you just do it at those times of the moon cycles. It's nothing really to do with werewolves so much. But yeah, that's basically it.
There's no howling at the moon or like, you know, try to eat people involved.
Not that I know of.
It's not the Hannibal Lecter.
So we don't know what's going on in Hollywood, if that's where it comes from.
True. It's not like the Hannibal Lecter diet, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's some link to that to what they do here in central Vietnam. So there's the type of Buddhism / Taoism that is followed here in central Vietnam. They don't eat meat on the full moon, and they don't eat meat. I don't know if it's also on the new moon, but it's definitely on the full moon, and that's why there's quite a lot of vegetarian restaurants in Da Nang. And the funny thing about them is they're not busy most of the month, and then on new moon, on full moon, they're just like rammed.
Right.
And a lot of them, they basically just live on that one day where it's super, super busy. So it could be, sometimes these diets come from old traditions, religions, and stuff like that. So maybe that's where the werewolf diet comes from.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the tradition in even the UK as well, to eat fish on a Friday?
Yeah, I believe that's where Friday comes from, right? It's fried fish.
I'm not sure that's...
Yeah, it's not accurate. That's one of those things that I heard in the playground when I was like 6, and I've just never updated my knowledge base.
The project knowledge is lagging a bit.
It's lagging behind, yeah, for sure.
I mean, it
so
could be, who knows? But yeah,
apparently it comes because it's the day of Frigga, which is named after the Germanic
the day
goddess.
Of what? Oh,
Frigga.
okay.
Frigga, wife of the supreme god Odin. So that's why Friday is called Friday, because of Frigga. Associated with the goddess Frigg.
Which is a great name.
Yeah. And I wonder if that spawns certain other meanings of the word. Anyway.
Oh, it could do, yeah.
Frigging hell.
I think we've learned a lot today.
We have. And if you've learned along with us and you've enjoyed it, don't forget, give us a like, a subscribe, a comment,
a share,
any of the other things that you could do to promote us and our podcast. We are increasing in subscribers at an alarming rate. We're up to 26, I think now, or 27 at the last count, which
that's breakneck speed.
It is a 200% increase or so. And we will be soon coming up to our 1-year anniversary. I think we started at some point in March, so it's coming quite soon, as I remember. It was definitely early 2025 when we started. So,
for sure.
We might even go live and do a live stream bonanza for our anniversary. We will see. Anyway.
We might even go live by accident, just by hitting the wrong button because we're such a professional outfit.
Which may or may not have nearly happened at the beginning of today's recording. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Happy New Year. And Adam, until next time, it's always a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, likewise. And Happy New Year to everybody out there. See you next time.